Good afternoon, everybody. We have another business relations session. Thank you, Sri Lasya, for coordinating today's session. Before we begin, and I just occurred to me that because we have so many of these recordings, I want to hear the hot topics that people want to know about business relations specifically so that it becomes some sort of table of contents for people to hear what we're talking about for today's session. And then that's what we'll cover for today because I want to make it worth the time of the people who attend and address their specific issues. So who wants to start about what they were expecting to get out of today's session? Who wants to go first? Nobody? I guess. Thank you so much for attending today's call. We're done.
How to engage with people on LinkedIn. That to be more not like transactional conversation, but more like genuine. How to actually build relationships.
Okay, so it's more along the same lines that we've been talking about for Sri Lasya. Sri Lasya, obviously coordinating this, has been in the last 5 sessions. So she's been in a continuous journey studying some of the messages she's been sending out. And to the point that she's making, she doesn't want to be transactional in their conversations where she's truly building a relationship. Because why is building a relationship, Sri Lasya? Why is that important?
Because as far as I know, US is a referral based market, and the second one, uh, that's how I've seen many people getting the jobs. And I recently came to know about what is actually being an advocate, or so there's two things that we need to keep in mind. One is referral, and the other one is advocate. So by attending these sessions, I came to know what advocate mean is. So by talking with people in more give and take way, more like genuine kind of way, that builds a relationship, and eventually they can put your name to hiring people, so you can get shortlisted for the job that you want to do.
Very good. Thank you, Sri Lasha. So she pointed out the difference between referral. Referral is what most students know. Hey, Bernie works for Google. Bernie, can I get a referral? Yeah, sure. Use my name and then apply to the portal. That's what people are usually thinking about. However, there are situations where somebody is an advocate for you. So Sri Lasha builds a relationship with Bernie. In the process of get to know Sri Lasha's work, it's not just transactional. She talks more about her. She talks about me. It's truly a business relationship. And then Bernie goes like, "Oh, I have a friend who works for GM. They have an opening. I thought about you, Sri Lasha." So Bernie now is a business advocate for Sri Lasha and not just a simple referral. So it kind of magnifies the work that you're doing. Thank you, Sri Lasha. Who's next?
Hi, Bernie.
Hi,
Shivani here.
Shivani.
So, I'm expecting from today's sessions, I have listened to your recording of the last week. So, even I have shared few screenshots with you. So, I think for me, I wanted to learn this week is how I can nurture my relationship with them, because it's been a while. I have sent an email, like a just short a connection request to them, and they have accepted it. But now it's for me to go back and forth with them. Even I tried the 21 years or 18 years of experience with some of the people. I do get a good response, but I just wanted to know like what will be the next follow to keep the conversation going on.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that, Shivani. So for Sri Lasha and Shivani, I would love if you guys have some examples of case studies that we can talk about, what you've sent out, what the result was, so I can help you go past it. Or in the case where the door is shut, so to speak, that the conversation ended, we can reopen it up again. And that's part of what we will talk. Sri Lasha, you raise your hand and then you put it down. Was there anything you wanted to share there?
No, I didn't raise hand. I'm
Oh,
appreciating Shivani.
Oh, okay. We appreciate you, Shivani. Thank you, Srilasha, for appreciating Shivani. So Ganesh and Karthikeyan. Karthikeyan, I see you sent me a message. but I wasn't able to read it. Is that something you can share here? What are you expecting today?
My expectation is like, I have one doubt regarding this business relation thing. Going to a LinkedIn profile who's not that much active, I am about to message one senior talent acquisition specialist who has his LinkedIn profile, who's active, but he doesn't post something about the company or any other thing which he is interested. He only posts the posts which are like towards the hiring process and what are the openings, those kind of stuff.
Okay.
So in that kind of place, I'm little stuck on how to message
what
them,
to do.
how to start the conversation.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I actually want to start with that person, Karthikeyan. We'll start that as the first case study after we hear what Ganesh is expecting from today's call.
Yeah. So shall I share my screen now?
Sure, you can start sharing while I listen to what Ganesh is expecting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ganesh.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah,
sharing, Karthikeyan, and I want to hear what Ganesh has to say.
Yeah, I want to learn more about the post-interview process. Like, when do we follow up? How do we follow up? And whom to follow up with? And yeah, what to ask them, right? We can't directly ask them what's the result. So
Okay.
how do we build the conversation, right? Things like that.
Yes, actually, don't do that, Shivani. We want you to share your screen because I want this to be a bit more interactive. But I guess if you're saying you sent it, I'll just look at the messages. Karthikeyan is sharing Diraj. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, but I hope my message is not up to the mark.
No, you're fine. I mean, this is part of why I do this because not a whole lot of students, you guys are at different places when it comes to business relations. So I love it when you bring to the table what you've done so far so we can address that specifically. So there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. You are at the level that you're at. So that's why I always check in the beginning so I make everybody's time useful and I'm more efficient with answering questions. So tell us the background about Diraj with LTI. Is this a new person from scratch or is this somebody you interviewed with? What's the situation here?
Oh, this is a totally new person. I came across this profile through LinkedIn.
Okay.
This is his experience.
Okay. So I'm going to relate this to Ganesh's question. Ganesh's question was, how do I follow up, et cetera, et cetera. So Ganesh, to relate Karthikeyan's question to yours, let's just assume that Karthikeyan just went through an interview with Diraj. All right. So is this usually some of the case, Ganesh, where you try to look them up on LinkedIn after you interviewed, et cetera? Is that right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So let's just assume for the purpose of this discussion that Diraj was one of the people. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do relates to what Karthikeyan was saying. I want to find out whether he's active, first of all. So where would I look first?
Maybe the activities or comments.
Very good. You click show all posts, which is at the bottom of the screen. You take a look at reactions is the first place I would go to. Scroll back up, please. Click reactions. Reactions said Diraj just like this, and this was 2 years ago. That tells me that Diraj isn't very active on LinkedIn because likes and reactions are the easiest thing to do on LinkedIn. His most recent reaction was 2 years ago. So Diraj, Ganesh, for example, you just interviewed with Diraj and then you tried to look for him at LinkedIn. You know that you cannot follow up with Diraj, who just interviewed you on LinkedIn. Does that answer one of your questions?
Yes, correct.
Okay, very good. So what happens when I have a person like this that I really want to get on their radar because they just interviewed me, for example? Let's take a look at comments, perhaps. I suspect it's not going to be any better than the 2 years for likes. 7 months. Oh, not bad. Actually, this was 7 months ago, so I was wrong. Actually, Diraj gave an email address. In this case, we got lucky, Ganesh. You want to get a hold of Diraj, assuming you didn't have his email, you have it right there. So you see how investigation of their LinkedIn activity could help in your follow-up with some of these people. Do you see what I just shared there, Ganesh?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like another application of what to do. So let's just assume that going back to Karthikeyan's example, he just sent a message on May 15th and he said, hello, Diraj, greetings for the day. I want to hear. Well, in this case, it's good from the perspective of what we think about, but we already know that he's not very active on LinkedIn. So that's why he hasn't responded to you. May 15. Are you connected to Diraj, Karthikeyan?
Yeah, I am connected with him. I went
Okay.
across these things, but the post or the reactions which he made weren't that much that much towards like it was not that much good to start a conversation with. So
Well,
I just
not
gave
yet.
him a blank.
Not
I
yet,
just gave
but that's why I'm giving you some more suggestions, okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what I would have done with my May 20th, hello, Diraj, you already said hello, Diraj first. Don't say hello, Diraj again, okay? Mix it up, okay? You don't even have to say hello. You can just start with his name. Just say Diraj, comma, whatever, all right? But one of the things I'm noticing here is he's very robotic, so to speak. He said hello, Diraj in the first message. He said hello, Diraj in the second message. And then they're both greetings, right? So did you catch that, Karthikeyan? Another change maybe that could improve it from your end? The
Yeah.
next one, you probably don't even mention Diraj. You just go directly in what you have to say. All right. So let's investigate Diraj's profile a little bit. Even though he's not very active on LinkedIn, he is a premium member. So I'm assuming he uses it a bit more than the content is pointing to, right? So let's go to his profile. So here's the task for the entire group. What can we find in Diraj's profile that is very personal, such that if either Ganesh or Karthikeyan mention it in a message, he's bound to respond. So let's come up with ideas. I'm expecting Sri Lasya to give me some of this. Shivani has been in some of these activities, so I want you guys to brainstorm. Let's brainstorm as a team. Scroll down.
Maybe Bernie, we can go down to the town he is from, because I usually connect with the people from the food or weather. So we can see from which town he is, and then maybe you can just Google it, what is the famous food of that thing. And you can just hit him that today I was thinking about this and just made me think you're also from the same place or something like that, because I have
like
done
the
that.
idea. Very nice. So did you guys hear Shivani's suggestion? Go to the town or place, and then she was going to come up with something very specific. The difference between what Shivani said was not directly what I suggested to you guys, okay? What I suggested was to look for something in the profile. Shivani said she looked at the profile and then she was going to extrapolate that and talk about something in the profile. You guys see the difference? Whereas my suggestion is more direct. What can we find in the profile and talk directly about that? What are you finding? Go to the about section. Experience is good. What about the about section? Can you get rid of that message so that we can see your screen better? Thank you.
There's no about section, I think.
Okay, no about section. So this is what he was talking about. He constantly posts, he uses it to put information out, but not to interact with people. So let's just take a look at the last post 2 weeks ago. It's actually the same job. And he isn't very verbose. He just says, we are hiring, blah, 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 and then that's it, right? So I guess Shivani's suggestion might work for this particular person because he doesn't put a whole lot of content outside of this. Let's take a look at the other post. Karthikeyan, I need you to be a little bit more interactive because you're like looking at stuff. These are dead ends. Go to the next one. Actually, click all of it. These are all jobs that he has. Does he have anything else? It's like being a detective. We're finding clues. Okay, it's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. That's why he's a premium. So you see how I'm able to kind of like profile Duraj based on his activity. I know that he's premium. I know that he posts a lot, but the last time he commented was 3 years ago. So I guess in this case, Ahad, I see that you just joined us. Welcome. I think Shivani's suggestion might work in this particular case, right? So let's take a look at the locales where Duraj has worked. He's in Canada, it sounds like. Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford, Edison, New Jersey, Houston, Texas, Jersey City. Show all 7 experiences. Shivani has a suggestion there. Is that relative to Duraj, Shivani?
Yes, actually, he and me both are from the same town, that is Madhya
Okay.
Pradesh. So
Actually,
he's very close
yeah,
to me.
Karthikeyan, can you stop sharing and let's study Shivani's approach? Shivani, if you could share your screen and then walk us through your thought process, please.
Sure, Bernie. I'm on my phone, so I'll try my best.
Oh,
Let's see. It's can start.
I see. That's why you sent me the
Um,
text message.
yeah, I was into another something for my internship. Are you able to see my
Yes,
screen?
very good, actually.
So this person and me, Devesh.
No, hang on. Let's stick to Duraj first, and I want to see
Okay.
let's finish that thought, and then we'll go to that next one.
Okay.
So show us how you researched this, what you did, and how it related to you.
So I searched his experience. So based on that, he is from United States, but I wanted to connect with him. So I just go through his hometown, which is Sihor, MP.
Okay,
And
so you
he and
saw
me both
Sihor.
are from the same town. That
Okay,
is
great.
Madhya Pradesh, most state. And the poha is very famous. A dish is very famous for morning breakfast.
Okay.
And the second thing, he's from Pune, Maharashtra, which I have been there for 5 years in Pune, Maharashtra.
Mhm.
So, and their vada pav is very famous there. So I
Mhm.
usually connect with the people about the food.
Mhm. So
So,
actually, could you open your message box and then kind of like type in what you would say specifically? Because part of your learning for these sessions is what do you say exactly? Okay, so Karthikeyan, I want you to understand what's going on. Obviously, this isn't you, but I want you to understand what's going on in Shivani's mind so that you can duplicate it with the people that you're reaching out to. So you're not going to send us, Shivani, but let's just see you type in what you would have said to Duraj.
oh, you want me to see what I would have typed to the
Yeah,
Raj?
so because I want everybody to see the thought process, and like I said earlier, it's
Oh, I'm on
exactly
my
what would you
phone,
type?
so I
Oh,
cannot do it, but I'm gonna do it on your chat if that would be okay.
yeah, just send it to me. Open the box and then type it like I'm Duraj. In this case, um, I would use Duraj, okay? For Karthikeyan, if he's sending this message, try getting rid of his name for the first time. I had to say, seeing Indore on your profile instead reminded me of Poha mornings. I love it. Okay, so you see how, assuming this was Karthikeyan sending this to send this out, Karthikeyan, can you see how compelling that message was if this was you sending it to Raj?
Yeah,
Karthikeyan.
I got this idea. It is really good.
But
And
do
the
you see
message
how
is like,
short the message
yeah,
is?
it is very short and very
Do
crisp.
you
And
understand the thought process in the message?
yeah.
Number one, it's very short. Number two, it's designed to get a response. Obviously, your good morning hasn't worked. You have to be more creative. Make sense?
Yeah, I do understand.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess we will shift the floor to that other person that you had there, Shivani. Any other questions about Duraj so far from any of the attendees? Anybody questions so far about what we're talking about? I guess the floor is yours, Shivani, no questions. So let's go to your person and whatever question you had with him.
Yeah, I just wanna know how I can do the follow with the people.
No. Didn't you want to work on that person that you showed? You were starting to say something when I cut you off because I wanted to stay on the topic.
Oh, you're talking about Viraj or someone else?
No, you had something open. You started talking about him, and I said, no, let's talk about
The
Diraj.
person that you wanted to connect with.
You opened up a screen earlier. You had a
Oh,
message.
I think maybe this one I was talking about.
No, it was a guy.
Okay, that is Devesh. I was just showing the example that how I
Yeah,
was connected with him with the same thought, and then he looked into my resume, and then we were like a good friend, like
I like this.
kind of.
Actually, share more about this, Shivani, because Kartikeyan, this is how the small talk about you. She kind of did some detective work, and then she figured out talking about food. And talk us through this, Shivani. How it unfolded.
So this is the conversation between him and me. So I just started with that.
And then he reacted, Karthikeyan. He goes like, hey, Shivani, that's what we were expecting. Shivani's original message was designed to get a response, and she got it. And take a look at this. He goes like, I can see attended college in Indore as well. So he's starting to research her. So do you see what we're trying to create? We're trying to create curiosity for you in a roundabout way. It's not the usual way, because a lot of students, they think of the normal way people do it, but because it's normal, everybody's doing it. So you're not standing out. They don't talk to you. Kind of like you, Karthikeyan. You notice you messaged them twice. You attempted what we were saying, short and sweet, but it didn't necessarily work. But Shivani, obviously. So if you notice, they're just going back and forth, and this is the effect that you want with what you're being taught in business relations. Good job, Shivani. That was cool. It was good to see that
Hold
you've been
on, Bernie. I
applying.
just need to respond. Hold on.
Is that hold on like forever, or are we going to go to the next student? Ganesh, did you learn anything from that exchange?
Yeah, Bernie.
What did you learn?
I used to directly approach him with my questions instead of, building a relationship first.
Okay.
So, yeah.
To your point, Ganesh, there are cases where you need to have answers really quick. Okay. So in those cases, you may not have time to build a relationship. What you should get out of these discussions is don't talk about the job first, talk about something else, then switch to the job really, really quick. The ideal situation is obviously like Shivani's example, where she had the luxury of time. If you notice, they went back and forth. But what if your target happens to be like you're following up on an application? So what happens if this was somebody that you were following up for a job? And I think that was your question earlier, right?
Yes,
How do you
yes,
continue?
yes.
You open the door with something non-job related, and then you shift it to what you want. But what you created there is you stood out, because you're not approaching the target the same way that everybody does. You go the personal route and then jump to the job. Make sense?
Yeah.
Vilasya, thank you for the reminder. I think that reminder was if we didn't have anything to discuss, but I think we have a wealth of conversation material today. So thank you for the reminder, Srilasya. Was there anything you wanted to add to the discussion so far, Srilasya, that might help?
No, sir, but I actually got inspired by seeing Shivani's chat. That is something that I have to do it for my connections.
Yeah, very good. So the beauty of these meetings is you get other ideas, but if you observe from what's going on, it's really just thinking out of the box. Shivani gave you an out of the box with food. She gave you an out of the box of where are they from, and talk about that. Okay. So I want to hear from Karthikeyan and Ganesh if they're learning anything to add to their practice, and I want Ahad as well. Does that help? Or how are you guys going to apply this? Ahad, Ganesh, Karthikeyan?
Yeah, it really helped me, and I would also try this for some other profiles which is similar to this one. And yeah, it was really fascinating. Shivani's way of thinking. It was really
They
good.
approach you? Okay, if we have more time, we'll go back to you because I want you to practice some more. Ahad, anything to say since you joined the call? I haven't heard from you.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the highway, so
You're
I
driving?
just
Okay, so you're in listening mode? Okay,
yeah, I'm just listening mode.
yeah,
I
just
I
let
haven't
us
post
know.
yeah, I haven't posted about it right on the career services group. Like you have to build connection first and then ask for referrals and stuff. So you should know the person first and have a good convo before you ask for referrals and stuff. So if you're just directly asking for referrals, like not a good approach, I would say.
Mhm.
So he would be
Very good.
thinking like he's just texting me for referrals and stuff,
Yes,
and he doesn't want to learn anything from me.
yes. Very good, Ahad. So I'm going to connect that, Ganesh, to what I said earlier. Ahad just addressed the usual result that people are doing. They just go directly into, hey, help me find a job or anything job related. If you talk about something else aside from a job as your door opener, then you're going to be golden, Ganesh. Shivani's back.
Yes, Bernie. I was just showing the follow-up of that conversation.
Yeah.
So I was able to let him review my resume, and if there is any vacancy now in his company, and now I'm gonna ask him to refer it to me if he's
Okay,
open.
so yes, so you asked the question also earlier. When was your last conversation here, Shivani?
I think it's been 2-3 weeks. I've been trying, so I think.
Okay, so to the point that you asked earlier, how do you reopen the door, right? Because that was one of the things that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
So how could you open the conversation back with Devesh?
I would again go with the same point, that food, that I made this thing today and that just remind me of you. And then
Okay,
I'm gonna start the conversation, how things are going and everything.
okay, that's not a bad idea to kind of like pick up from where you left off. I'm going to let you practice a little bit more. Try something else for the same guy. What would you do, Shivani?
Let me see.
Profile is the best point. I like how you went to the profile. Did you guys see that? Shivani was very good in opening up this conversation, creating some personal connection to this person, right? But the door kind of shut for whatever reason. It's irrelevant. Okay. Now there comes a point where she wants to open it up and nurture the relationship. This is what we mean about nurture, because if Shivani doesn't go back to this person until she needs something, then we're falling back into the same thing that she got rid of. So occasionally, this is what we talk about nurturing. And actually, now that I mentioned that, let me share the screen for a second. I'm going to go to Srilasha's reminder. Thanks for the reminder, Srilasha, because it's reminding me to do this, what we were saying about nurture. When you talk about nurturing, so everybody, when you go to the LinkedIn group, okay, from the LinkedIn group, you go to the table of contents. From the table of contents, you hit business relations, and then in the index, from the index, you could go to hashtag business relations, but more directly, specifically for this, you could do a control F or a command F. Computer's slow. I'll try to do it the long way. I'll go to, it's in business relations, and I'm looking for sheets. It's not going to let me do it. Can somebody find Control F on their computer for Google Sheets and under hashtag business relations? I don't know where it is exactly. And my computer won't let me do a Control F.
There's a search bar on the top left, Bernie.
That's what search top. Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Sheets. Thank you. That didn't work. That search bar is for my content on Google. So I'm looking to search. Did I hit the right search? Or just somebody just find it on there and just tell me how far above in this business relations Google Sheets is. It's here somewhere. If you just do Control F Sheets. Oh, there it is. Connect contacts Google Sheets. So you see from hashtag business relations, just further down, it says connect contacts Google Sheets template. When you open this, this is what Srilasha reminded me to put in to the point that we're talking about, which is nurturing a relationship. If I had the name of the people that I was trying to connect, their LinkedIn profile, and then I have notes as to what I do, this could be a history of what you've done with people. If, like, let's just say Shivani is going to share something today, she can put it in this Google Sheets. So any questions about Google Sheets so that you can nurture people that you're reaching out to? No questions? Shivani, take it back, please. And let's figure out what another way to talk to this person is aside from food. Did we lose Shivani again?
I feel for this conversation that Shivani maintained with him, she can directly ask him like, "Is it okay if I ask you a question?" kind of thing.
To transition it. Okay, that's a good transition if she, assuming that she needed something from him. Yes, but what if it was just a relationship that she wanted to create? What would she have said? It's kind of hard because we don't know who that person is. Karthikeyan, I'm going to go to you. Pick up a new person that we're going to talk about. Yeah, I get that, Shivani. I was hoping you would do the actual live thing because we can talk about concepts here. It doesn't help you guys. So I need somebody to get into an actual person's profile. Let's do it, Karthikeyan. Pick a person, and I want it as a group exercise.
One more person, yeah.
Yeah, pick a new person. I want you to share their screen, and we as a team try to figure out how to open up the conversation with them. Or it could be an existing person, kind of like that got to a dead end, Karthikeyan. Do you have anybody like that? Or anybody else on the call? Does anybody have anybody like that?
Yeah, I have one more.
All right, share your screen, please.
Excuse me. I have one more thing, but I again gave a very plain reply on greetings.
That's why
To
we'll
open
help
the
you.
conversation again, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I want to
sharing
help
my
you.
screen once again. Yeah, this was a person whom I met in the cyber conference which held at our university. She directly asked me that there is an opening, and I shared my resume, everything. And after
February
that,
resume, and then February 25. Okay,
yeah,
so scroll back up to the
she
top.
directly opened it,
Let's
and
study this for a second. Go back to the top, please. I want to
yeah,
dissect it. So the top, Karthikeyan goes, hello, Jane, happy morning. It was great meeting you at the event. I'm noticing something with a pattern here, Karthikeyan. You always go with happy morning or good morning. I would try to vary that up a little, but I'm noticing the thing this I would suggest works, it may or may not be the case, was you said it was great meeting you. I would also do the personal approach instead of saying good morning and then say it was good to meet you as a diversification of your approach. Does that make sense, Karthikeyan?
yeah. Can you like directly give me an example on how to rephrase the above sentence so
No,
that
you missed what I said. I would pick something personal about Jare, go to her profile, and then I'll show you how I will modify that. This is what you do, guys. Don't just say the usual. Go to their profile to find something personal, and then that is your opening. So she says, Peterson Technology ranked one of the top Chicago's top workplaces. Thank you for your support. Get rid of the message again, Karthikeyan, so we see the screen. She's in Chicago. Keep going. She doesn't have an about. I'm still smiling. Oh, okay. open up her, I'm still smiling. No, the actual post. I'm still smiling about that little back dress. Sounds like stuff we could talk about. So this was sent last week. I'm truly honored to be part of such an amazing group to serve along with some of the strongest female leaders in Chicago, tech, Black and brown women to dream from. Last week featured fantastic food, inspiring ground. Thank you. So if this was me, I would say Jare, comma, glad you enjoyed the LBDN night. And it was also great to meet you. Did you see how I switched that up, Karthikeyan?
Yeah.
So I picked something from their profile. It's probably not the best information, but did you see how I picked something from their recent post, which was just last week, right? So I'd say, Jare, I'm glad that you had fun at the LBDN. And then if she doesn't know what that is, it was part of her post. Okay, so that's dual purpose. I put LBDN, or I could also have said little black dress night. Okay, but by putting LBDN, I'm also coming from the angle, if she doesn't remember what that is, she might message me back saying, what's LBDN? You see how I'm attacking it from a lot of different angles. Karthikeyan.
Yeah. I'm able to understand.
So I'm kind of giving it
But-
different flavors, and then I would put your second line. It was good to meet you last week. But you see how I opened? It was very different. And then I'm thinking in her mind, she would be like, oh, this guy's researching me. He even knows about that. Or I could say something along the lines of, Jare, wonderful that you had a great time with other women leaders. And then she would be like, what's he talking about? And then you could say, oh, I saw your post. Do you see how I'm coming from two directions? I was being vague about her. I'm glad you had time to spend with other leaders. Obviously putting her on a pedestal, saying, you're one of the leaders. I'm glad you had time with the other leaders. And then I would say, it was great to meet you last week. So you see how it's much, much more powerful than just, Jare, good morning. It was good to meet you.
Yeah. I'm
Other
able to
reactions?
know the difference and how impactful it is.
But do you understand why it's more effective?
Sorry.
Do you understand why it is more effective?
Yeah, I do understand how effective it is.
Why?
Instead of directly telling we met them before, and instead of telling that, we can talk about them on what they did recently, so that we are talking about Jare to Jare. So
Good job.
it makes a difference and it is impactful. Yeah.
Nice work, Karthikeyan. Any other reactions from the group? What are you learning?
Yeah, always connecting with a recent activity of people that we are wanted to talk, and that makes them feel not like generic conversations that they receive,
Very
but it
good.
is something that is new for them, and that makes us be in a light for them.
Yeah, you stand out, Karthikeyan, is the whole idea. That's what you're being taught at these weekly calls. Very nice, Srilasha. It's very obvious that you are deep into this work. So with the suggestions. What about Ganesh, Shivani, and
Yeah.
Ahad?
Yeah, talking about things which stayed it, I think that attracts them, that makes them share their experience. So we can build a conversation on that, right? Yeah, that helps.
Very good, very good. With 15 minutes I can extend this obviously, but I'm just saying, is there anything that you guys were expecting me to cover that I forgot to mention or cover so far?
I think we stopped in between on Shivani's conversation opening again.
You want to talk about that some more?
Yeah,
Karthikeyan?
how to
Okay.
No, I just wanted to grab an idea on
Yeah.
what is your point of view on opening Shivani's conversation again with the person whom she
Oh,
targeted.
when it got
Yeah.
shut off. Well, let's just, because Shivani couldn't give us that name, let's pick a person. Does it, Srilasha, do
Yeah,
you have?
I'm back, Bernie.
Okay, open up the conversation, please, because Karthikeyan
Yeah,
is
sure.
interested.
Let me see.
And then
Share my
otherwise,
screen.
anybody else, if you had case studies that we can talk about relative to where we are in the discussion, please have them ready. So you can share it for the benefit of the group's discussion. So for Shivani's case, the door kind of like shut down. And I want to point out two cases for Shivani, or we as a group to think of. So the first case, Shivani, is what if you just wanted to continue to nurture the relationship? You said you could continue talking about food and say, hey, I just made this recently. I thought about you is good, but I want to exercise more of your business relations muscles. So let's see Shivani come up with something else to open up with based on their profile.
I've mentioned in the chat that I could talk about current weather.
Weather is good when you don't have a relationship with anybody, but yeah, I guess it might work with this. They're from,
Or maybe
Well-
I could talk about his education thing.
you could, but I see that you're not taking advantage of my recommendation to go through their profile because you're just mentioning general categories. You're saying, I can talk about the weather, I can talk about education. What I'm trying to teach you guys is go through their profile and do some deeper detective work rather just going through general things. So let's study this profile a little bit and see what you could come up with based on the profile versus just some general categories like weather and education. I want you to practice, doing personal from the profile. So data analyst at MCR Health, business analytics, it looks like they just graduated 21, 22, South Florida. So if you kind of decided weather, you could say something like, yeah, Chicago's finally hit 70 degrees. I bet Florida is in the 90s now. Or something like that would be an easy opening for weather, right, Shivani?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's try something else from their profile. Let's go to the About section. Click the See More. It says creative problem solver, well-versed. I want the team to focus on that and see what you could come up with as a very quick one-liner that Shivani can put in the message. So I want everybody to come up with something and type it in the chat. Just from the About section, I want you to come up with reopening the door for Shivani. Let's see what you guys come up with. Creative problem solver, well-versed at analyzing large sets of data, providing detailed reports, recommendations, leverage, decision-making with excellent knowledge of database, strong understanding, very generic. It's not the best, actually. Shivani, I see you're getting to be very good at sharing your screen with your phone. Good job. Srilasha says this profile is more technical to be to maybe showcase projects, but you see, I don't want you to describe. I want to hear what you're going to say exactly. Again, I repeat, that's part of the training for these calls. I don't want you to describe what you're going to say. I want to see exactly what you're going to say. So I'm going to put it in a chat. Here's an easy one, not the best, but I'm working with what I have.
Bernie, maybe I cannot type in because if I will go back, then the screen will switch,
Yeah,
turn it
just
off.
say it.
So I would
Just
say
say
that.
it, and then I will type what you say. Go ahead.
So I would say maybe I will pick some skills from his section.
Don't
Python.
describe. Do not describe.
Okay.
Tell me exactly what you
So-
said.
How frequently do you use Python at MCR Health?
Do you use Python at MTYL?
That's his company name,
The
MCR
spelling
Health.
is irrelevant. Why do you think that's a problem?
No, I'm just saying I'll ask him how frequently does he use that skill in his current role.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how could that be a problem? I'm trying to dissect what you said, and I'm noticing the way it landed on me was, well, I kind of know what the issue is, but I don't want to share. I want you guys to tell me. Ahad shared that he said, "Hey, I've been working. By the way, I repeat with you guys, hey in the United States is for horses. Okay, if you want to use hey, at least say hey, Srilasya. Hey, Joe. Hey, Shivani. Don't just leave hey by itself because it's a very informal way to talk to people. Okay, so just pointing that out. So we go, I've been working on analyzing XYZ. What would you recommend for analysis for tools? I see you're an expert in both. I actually like this, Ahad. So Ahad is saying, I've been working on analyzing XYZ. What would you recommend using analysis for? I would have stopped it at the first question. I see that you're giving it context by saying, I see you're an expert. So maybe you could start with, I see you're an expert. Not bad. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? I wish Shivani could do this. Both Shivani and Ahad are driving. So Srilasha, can you be the one to share the screen and type? Because you guys aren't seeing it if I do it. What's the name of this person again? Devesh
Tomar.
Tomar. All right. So Srilasha, you could let's have Shivani stop sharing.
Okay.
Srilasha, Devesh, Tomash.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Give me a second. I'm trying.
Technology, it's never easy. So Ahad, I like the ideas of what you brought up. You're talking that they're experts, et cetera, et cetera. So just
Can you now see?
open the screen to me, like you're messaging me, Srilasha,
Okay.
and then type in, copy, cut, and paste from Ahad's message and type it in here so everybody sees it.
Okay.
All right, there. Get rid of the word hey, or just say Devesh. Devesh, I've been working. Okay, so just to make this shorter, Ahad, get rid of the I, just start with been working on analyzing XYZ. What would you recommend for analysis, comma, Tableau or Power BI? I would leave it at that. Where you see, I see you're an expert in both. I see what Ahad was doing, but it's getting longer. So from Shivani's perspective, if she tried to open up the conversation like this again, she switched it from just talking about cuisine to something directly from Devesh's profile. Did you guys understand what that particular lesson? Questions about it? Thank you, Sudhasha. Comments? Shivani, do you like Ahad's? No, keep it open. We're still discussing it, Sudhasha.
Okay.
Ahad, did you understand my little dissecting of your message? It was good. It was good, Ahad. I'm
Yes.
just kind of giving you some tweaks. I like how Ahad was thinking of elevating Devesh by saying he was an expert, but it just got too long. But the way it's worded as it is. So think of it as Shivani. She was talking cuisine, cuisine, cuisine. They had a good relationship. The door closed and she's trying to open it. You could open it with Ahad's suggestion. Is an example. I mean, this may not be you feeling this question, Shivani, but do you understand the direction of using their profile versus generalities about talking about their weather and education, Shivani? We lost Shivani again?
No, Bernie, yeah, I hear you and I understand.
Okay,
And I'm
makes
gonna
sense.
try that.
You're gonna try this? You liked it? But do you
Yeah.
understand where we were coming from, right? I wanted you to practice going through their profile and then start finding something personal in their profile and then use that. That's why you guys will never run out of material because it's in their profile. And then, well, you could if it's not very verbose like some of these people. Questions about that particular lesson? Ganesh, Kartikeyan. Appreciate the suggestion, Ahad, and it looks like Shivani learned from it. No more comments?
No more.
Questions? Somebody else want to try? Let's end on somebody else who wants to try somebody that they've worked on. Srilasya, some of the more quote unquote difficult cases that you've been through. Anything from your end?
This is just that I shared with you last week. This is this is the chart that I done, and I made the same mistake.
Okay, hang on. Walk this team through what you said. Start from the beginning. I absolutely love. Go ahead.
My message is, I absolutely love the iced lavender cream matcha. It's become my daily favorite. The balance of flavors is so refreshing and unique. So the person is the one who did the came up with that drink. So I,
Yeah.
as
So
part
hang
of
on a
learning.
second, Srilasha, hang on.
Yeah.
So let me just point this out that just like we asked Shivani to find something personal to talk about, Srilasya found something very personal to this person. That's why if you notice, she's talking about iced lavender cream matcha. It's very specific. So good job there, Srilasya. Continue, please.
So his response is, "Thank you for kind words." So this is what I got as a response after sending the first message, and then I made it specific to what I want to say and not bragging it. And so my response is, "I'm guessing your time in Japan might spark an interest in matcha."
Yeah, very
So
good.
he
So just 1 second, Srilasya. So if you guys notice, this person shut the door with their response. They just said, thank you for your kind words. And without you learning this material, people are like, oh, what the heck? But Srilasya knows that she can reopen the door again. So Srilasya is in thinking mode. What else can I say so that I can continue this conversation? And notice what Srilasya came up with. Very good.
and he gave me a long message explaining how important that is for him, but I did mistake here. So this is like he explained this. Okay, I've been a
Uh-huh.
matcha lover long before my time in Japan. I co-founded a tea research group at Penn State University and was president of Japanese tea ceremony club. So he told me that tea is my passion. So here I made a mistake.
Why?
So
Why? What's the mistake, Srilasya?
so it's he gave a really good response. So I wanted to make it look like short response for him, but I dragged it like I don't
You
have to
put
say
more.
this.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
have to say.
I want the group to ask
Okay.
Srilasya why she's saying what she's saying. Do you guys understand why Srilasya is saying she could have sent something else? Ganesh, Kartikeyan, Shivani, Ahad. Ahad probably can't read it because he's driving.
Yeah, I can say.
Oh, you can see
Uh,
it? So why
Yeah.
is Srilasha saying that she could have
I
stopped?
think he already mentioned that he likes tea, so you don't have to mention it again. And if I was in her position, I would have said like, why not coffee? So then he can ask.
Actually,
Mm.
that's very good. It's very short and it opens up more discussion. Very nice, Ahad. He's going to say, why not coffee? Question mark. And then that is going to encourage more interaction from this person. Very good, Ahad.
Yeah, I have to work on keeping it precise and
You are working
straight to
on
the
it.
point.
You're doing a lot of exercises. And the thing that I like about Srilasha is she's taking this information and this is just one of many messages, obviously. And this is my message to the entire group. The more you practice, the more you get stuck, kind of like Kartikeyan was stuck, right? And then we observed what the issue was with Kartikeyan. It was usually the good morning, just the greeting, and then there wasn't a whole lot more. It sounds like Kartikeyan today got more ideas as to how to open up more of his tool arsenal so that he's not coming across the same thing. And Srilasha has been practicing with a lot of people. So that's why she knows what she's sharing with this group because this comes from practice. So anything else to add to this, Srilasha? And then we're going to end with any questions for today's session. More questions, Srilasha, about this? Are you still continuing with this person? I know how
Yeah.
excited you were when the person responded. Srilasha was like, oh my God, he responded. And you see, this is what we're talking about. When you're strategic about what you say, you're compelling them to respond, which is what you're being taught. Okay. So now you're standing up from everybody else saying, hey, I saw your ad, help me find a job, versus look at Srilasha. She's talking about tea. You guys understand what's going on? Good job, Srilasha. Anything to add?
I have a couple of things to say, so just keep it personal and like short enough to say what your point is about. And then if they don't respond, don't keep on messaging them, because that will create them not to give a response back. And I understand why we keep on sending the messages. So instead of keep on messaging them, we can comment on their posts, and we can endorse any of skills that they have, or repost their posts. That we can do, and that makes us visible to them.
Yeah. Or you can take a break. Okay. So here's another thing with breaks. Okay. If you notice Kartikeyan's message, I think he sent something on May 18th and then he sent something on May 22nd. If you still don't get a response, I wouldn't send something else. So you could leave a breather. And in this case, what's coming up as far as US holiday? June 19th, right? It could be, it's not like a general holiday because June 19th has kind of like social connotations. So happy June 19th, maybe just from an innocent kind of way, because it is a national holiday and Illinois Tech is closed. Karthikeyan could possibly send out to that person something as innocent as happy Juneteenth, exclamation point. That could apply to anybody actually on June 19th. Okay. If you'd rather stay away from the social issues, maybe you could wait until the beginning of a new month and say Happy July. Or even more importantly, Happy July 4th, 4th of July. So you see how you have all sorts of opportunities
Yes.
to like open up these conversations. Or if,
Because after
go
sorry to
ahead.
interrupt.
No, go ahead,
So
Srilasha.
after this message, he saw my message, and for some reason he didn't give any response. So I have stopped messaging as well. I'm waiting for the weekend, so I'm planning to send him a message like happy weekend kind of thing, because
Yeah.
we need to give some kind of break for them. I agree that to that point.
Yeah. And the break sometimes is they also could have been truly busy at the time. That's why they didn't respond.
Yeah.
So Srilasya just giving them a breather and then looking for another opportunity, i.e. the weekend, is a great next step. So I hope this is helping Shivani with her doors opening and closing. Shivani, is this helping? I guess we missed Shivani again. Anybody else have any final
Yes,
comments?
Bernie, I understand.
Good. Thank you, Shivani. Hope you learned. Any closing remarks or questions from the rest of everybody for today's
The one
session?
other mistake which I made is that I did not follow the person's message regularly. When I have some time or something, when I'm like interested towards this, I come to my LinkedIn profile and then I just check on whom all I messaged, and then I randomly like put message on what to do. I did not like follow this promptly and in a perfect time interval so that it would be a better follow up for the messages which I had sent.
Yeah.
That was one other mistake which I made.
Well, it's not necessarily a mistake, Karthikeyan, because sometimes we also get busy. All right. I mean, I do this all the time with people I'm trying to reach out to. So if I get busy and then I quote unquote drop the ball, i.e., a mistake to your point, it may not necessarily be a mistake, but that's why we taught you what we taught you today, because that's part of what I heard Shivani say. What if the door closed? So in your case, Shivani, I mean, Karthikeyan, it may be timely, it may not be timely. That's why we talk about the spreadsheet, because your spreadsheet has a record of what you sent when. So if the door closed, not a problem. We're teaching you ways to open the door again. Does it make sense, Karthikeyan?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Any last comments from Ganesh and Ahad?
No, Bernie.
Okay, cool. Hope you learned something, Ganesh. Was this worth your
Yes.
time for today?
Yes, absolutely.
What's your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I learned how to build a conversation, saw some mistakes, do's and don'ts. It was
Okay,
helpful. Yeah.
very good. Thanks for sharing, Ganesh. And Ahad, what did you learn today? I think Ahad is driving. So on that note, unless anybody had any other comments, thank you for attending today's session. Please stay tuned to Lasia's next message for the next business relations call. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
Bernie. Have a great weekend.
We'll see you on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
If you had any more questions, just message me on LinkedIn.
Sure,
Bye,
sure,
guys.
Bye.